that we always played on. We were playing with Young Guns and a few other bands at the time. And it was, I mean, how it all started off is that Young Guns, we were supposed to go on at a certain time, and they extended their show, and they were going late. And it's like we had a full crowd waiting for us, and we were getting, a little upset at it.
We were standing outside in the rain.
Yeah, we're standing outside in the rain, and it's like poor Bill, the drummer, he's like, hovering over his drums. And then something happened. The band was coming off, and I think it was the singer and one of the other bands decided to get into a fist fight over our gear. So literally, we have Bill hanging, I mean, it's in this little back area, and we have these two guys literally throwing each other into drum kits, and we're just trying to keep these guys from bouncing into us. We finally get past all of that, and then my good friend Lee, who was helping Rhodey at the time, after they're all loading out, and then I pulled my van up, and I was about to pull it out. He hops in, he goes, hurry, go park. I'm like, why? And I look in the back, and it turns out he stole their fog machine for the headache. I'm like, Lee, and he's like, just shut up. We need the fog machine. I'm like, okay.
Hey, you know what? That fog machine became an integral part of our stage shows.
It was a staple.
Yeah.
But then after that, when we went on, we did our show. It was kick-ass. And Pat, like I told you, that part, the guitar player, was very introverted. And the thing is that this night was his coming out party. Not only is he up there flipping around, doing spins, he's doing the Steve Vai, Yngwie Malmsteen over-the-shoulder guitar throw. You know the famous one? Over the shoulder, come back around, keep playing. Beautiful. And it's like last song, and we're doing the ending, heading everything up.
Now, he had done it about 5 or 6 times during the show.
Flawlessly.
No problem. It looked great.
And then the last one, he goes to throw it over his shoulder. It didn't come back. This was his baby. This was the guitar he loved. And that thing just basically, in slow motion, we watched it go up in the air and come right down on the headstock and snap in half.
Oh, God.
And the show just ends, and we're like, yeah, the crowd's going nuts. And he's just standing there like he's looking over his dead father. And it's just like, are you okay? And he's like, we need to go, man. I don't feel so good. And it's like, oh, that was a great one. That was a fun one. And then
now see, wait a minute. That same fog machine comes into another great story.
Oh, go ahead. The Troubadour show?
Yes, we're playing at the Troubadour show. And for whatever reason, the roadie that we had running the fog machine must have got their fingers stuck on it because it just belched and belched and belched and belched.
Now hold on real quick. To let you know, have you ever been to the Troubadour?
I have not.
Okay. The Troubadour is a 2-story building, open. So that means that literally it's an incredibly high ceiling. Continue, Michael.
Anyway, literally there was a wall of fog on the stage. And we had a stage show going on. We had like cop lights and a pre-recorded like sirens and all kinds of goofy shit going on.
Yeah.
And anyhow, the stage is just a blanket. And then everybody starts playing, and Richard and Pat ran into each other because they could not see each other on the stage, and literally collided in the middle of the stage and dropped their picks. And neither one of them had any backup picks on anywhere.
And literally, if you could have removed the fog, you would have seen him and I on the floor on all fours, feeling around for fucking guitar picks.
So the entire time you've got this intro, and then you've got the drums and the bass, dum da dum. Silence. For about 2 minutes.
Well, fortunately, nobody heard us collide because when we hit, because it was dance, and when we hit each other, it was almost like.
I'm not a guitarist, Richard, but I'm assuming that you can't finger pick power chords, right? Is that what?
No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. It also depends on the song you're doing. It's like if you're doing a song that's it's like no, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it's like, Bill goes, so when did we add the 5-minute intro to this song? I mean, we just kept going and going.
Well, and of course, nobody else could see that they had done that on the stage.
No one knew what the hell was going on.
But nobody caught it. That's the best part. Our guy put out so much damn fog, he never caught it. Of course, I was going to say real quickly on another Sunset Strip note is one of the famous points of the Sunset Strip, if you had ever been there back in the day, was what we called the Flyer War. And literally, within 2 miles of the Roxy and Gazzarri's, when you were walking on the strip, you would literally start hitting a point where the entire ground turned neon color with band flyers. It's literally, you'd be walking along, someone would hand you a flyer, and then they would drop it on the ground. We would have a staple hammer, and you'd be walking down the strip, and you'd have your flyers, and every time you come to a telephone pole, you throw it up there, go whack, 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 put up your flyer, hit next one, whack, 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 and then you'd stop, you talk to a couple of girls, you turn back around. Within 2 minutes, you're walking back, and another flyer, your flyer had already been ripped down, and another band replaced it with another flyer. It's like, I mean, it was insane.
Every Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah.
You couldn't drive down to the strip. You had to park 2 miles away to try and walk to the clubs. That's how it was. Yeah. It was a party on the strip. It was amazing shit.
Yeah, that's the thing that you guys do for us, like when we do these interviews, to kind of bring that time and that place alive for our listeners. And I think that's that's what they love a whole lot. They don't want to hear. It's not so much about I met Slash in the bathroom, or I fucking hung out with Bret Michaels or something like that. It's just the scene, how it relates to us. I think that's that's the great thing.
Hey, I got to hang out with Izzy Stradlin while he was fucking a chick on the top bunk.
And that's not your favorite? That's not your favorite story?
It's just because Guns N' Roses had a loft over off Doheny right near the Troubadour, and it's like, and it was literally this big loft with just bunk beds, and it's like we're just hanging out in there, everyone's getting stoned and hanging out, and we're just sitting there and we're just jabbing off, and I lean forward and look, oh, dude, Jesus. So it's time for me to, and it's like, I had a girl with me at the time, so it's time for us to go. This ain't kosher. I mean, it's like, that might work for you guys, but I don't think the chick's digging on it. It's not going to work out too well for me.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, this trip, just some of the shit that we saw, just like when we played with Bang Tango, and
yeah,
and Mike was basically at the point when Bang Tango was on, Mike was working the stage. The front floor monitors were on setup tables, and the crowd was holding up the floor monitors.
Yeah, they'd actually, the tables themselves had buckled, but the crowd held them up, so they didn't fall until afterwards. The show was insane. There was a local magazine, strictly for the rock scene at that time, called Screamer,
right?
The magazine. And if you go on eBay now, you can still probably find a few copies.
Or if you go in my closet.
Anyhow, this was their grand opening of Screamer the Club, and they had it at this really, really cool site called Hollywood Live.
Directly across the street from Grabman's Chinese Theater, in case you didn't know.
So it was like a multi-story, all different kinds of stages, all kinds of stuff going on. But in the main room, I think there was probably room for 1,200 to 1,500. They'd crammed about 1,800 people in there. And this magazine really didn't know how to put all this stuff together. They kind of made it up as they went along. And the one thing that they forgot to do for this particular event was have any security.